Hey everybody, welcome to the booth. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe. This guy is Brian David Marshall. We are the tag team duo that's going to be covering the draft that we're going to be seeing here.
Top 8 resources.
I heard limited magic thrown around as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to head right down and we're going to be seeing Conley Woods,
Whoa.
maybe your favorite player. He's one of my favorite players. And he's going to be drafting Return to Ravnica here at Table 1.
Yeah, heads down, very quiet, been very deliberate yesterday, just plowed through to a 7-1 record.
Yep.
Without, the typical Conley fanfare.
Yeah, and he said he said sometimes it takes a punt, a big mistake to kind of snap you into focus, and that's what he needed.
Yeah.
All right, so why don't we head down to the feature match area here? We're going to be watching the draft portion of Conley Woods at Table 1 here at Pro Tour Return to Ravnica. All right, here we are for the draft portion. Table 1, we're going to be watching Conley Woods draft all 3 packs here, and Brian David Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth here. We're going to be talking about his picks, maybe disagreeing with him, maybe agree with him. We're going to see what he, Conley's known for being a brewer. Now he's stepped that down a little bit.
I think he's definitely shut that down. This is something we saw at Worlds in San Francisco where he said, you know what, I've been too flamboyant, I've been too concerned with being the rogue, I've been too concerned with drafting the crazy deck. Building the outside the box constructed deck, and maybe overperforming with that based on my considerable play skill. Now I'm not his words exactly, but that's what he was doing, right? He's obviously super talented player.
Yeah.
Overstretching maybe the capacity for the drafts and constructed decks he's building, and then he's like, what if I just build the really good decks?
Yeah.
And draft the really good decks.
And he subsequently just crushes the worlds at that point.
But it's tough when you get pigeonholed as the rogue. It's tough to shake that.
It can be, for sure. My podcasting partner, John Lauxey, he's considered a rogue deck builder as well. And
he and Conley were in my same column, which was sort of both
Is that right?
Both their sort of major coverage debut.
All right, looks like we have our first pack up here.
Ooh,
let's take a look.
I see Necropolis Regent and Stab Wound, and it's interesting about the speed of the format that
he's actually thinking
Conley's
about
like
that.
kind of flicking back and forth between them.
Yeah, see, now there's a lot
Thug.
of Rakdos cards here.
Yeah. Splatter Thug, I see.
Yep.
I see a
Rakdos
Shred
Cackler.
Freak.
Cackler.
And a Cackler. I also saw a Shred Freak.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's just a Cackler.
It's just a Cackler, yeah. So if he does take the Necropolis Regent, he's got to be considering the fact that he's shipping a whole bunch of really sweet...
No reason he can't beat Golgari.
It's true.
Yeah, he's just taking the... we were talking to Josh Layton yesterday about his draft strategy.
Who, by the way, is at this table.
Who's also at the table. He said, look, I'm looking to open a bomb card and just, hold, get a good grip on the ball, not fumble that pick.
Yeah.
And just push all the way through.
Okay, yeah. And it looks like Conley's going to take a similar route here. He pulls a Mind Rot and an Assassin Strike to the front. It looks like... there's also an Axebane Guardian.
I like that Axebane Guardian, honestly.
Because then he's in Golgari and not in Rakdos, which is, he's probably not going to get too much in Pack 2 for Rakdos, given what he's passed, or at least potentially. Although Assassin Strike, sorcery speed, big mana, six mana, but it's just a hard removal spell, and sometimes you just need that.
Yeah, but I mean, now he's 2 6s into the draft.
Yeah. He's got.
I've been. I think Axebane Guardian has been like a kind of a breakout card.
Okay.
This week, watching people draft and seeing people, I want to be the Axebane Guardian guy.
And it is a deck. I mean, it's one of the few ways that you can really play a whole bunch of colors. I think you're not necessarily rewarded for going too far out of guild. Otherwise, all right. So he pulls a Rakdos Rage Mutt to the front. There's also a Gatecreeper Vine, which.
Deviant Glee.
Which is tempting. Looks like he's deciding between the Rage Mud and the Vine. What do you like here?
We know how much Rakdos we've passed.
And Rage Mud's pretty good, but not amazing.
But Gatecreeper Vine is just not an exciting pick.
It is not.
And you have to feel like Rage Mud's somewhat of a signal.
It could be, yeah.
It's going to be hard to cut off Rakdos, though, with 2 people. Probably 2 people downstream from you.
That's right.
Well, the Stab Wound is not really going to put someone into Rakdos.
No, that's not necessarily. Yeah, that's probably true. Let's see what he's got. Is that a Splatter Thug, I believe, in the middle? No, that was not a Splatter Thug. So he He's pulled a Giant Growth to the front, but
There's a
now
Rakdos Charm, right?
there is a Shred Freak, a Karazda Monitor. That's what he has pulled to the front, is a Rakdos Shred Freak and a Monitor. So I think this is kind of a critical point where he's trying to decide if he's going to be Golgari or if he's going to be Rakdos with maybe splashes or something. Yeah, and he decides to go for the more solid pick. You know, the Shred Freak has not impressed me.
You do not like the Shred Freak.
Yeah, but some
very
people
much.
do. I haven't put my gavel down on that one yet because some people still like
There's
it.
a Dread Reveler. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, Dead Reveler.
pick.
Pretty versatile card for this type of deck. He's also looking at a Centaur's Herald, which is fairly solid as well. He's going to state the Dead
But
Reveler.
not super amazing if you're Golgari.
True.
It's just fine. It's just a 4-mana 3/3.
That's right. And I mean,
3.5 mana.
yeah, it's like a
3/3.
turn 3/3.
Yeah.
All right, so his deck's starting to form here. He's looking in the Golgari route. I think he's going to be looking to pick up things like Trestle Troll. There was a Sluiceway Scorpion. That's definitely something that he'd like to have in his deck. Let's see what else he's got in the pack, though.
Sewer Shambler.
Yep, which is a very solid card as well.
I really like the Shambler.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you want to be attacking the Shambler's better, but the Sluiceway Scorpion's better for a longer game, which might be what he wants to do. Nope, looks like he wants to be aggressive.
Yeah, I think the Shambler's the spicer. You get Sluiceway Scorpions.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
like just
that's true.
They're kind of like late round picks. I
They
think.
are. It's a good card. So one of the things that I wanted to note here was that, you know, we're talking about what he's passed to his left and that he's got to keep that under consideration. But really, you know, we have to keep in mind that that's only one pack.
Yeah.
And he's still getting fed, you know, from the right, which is
sure.
a lot more what his concern
A lot more
is in
important for
there.
him too.
Right.
What did he take there?
I think he took a Rogue's Passage.
Okay. I actually like the Rubbleback Worm there, but I guess he's got a lot of 5s.
The Rollback Rhino.
Rubbleback Rhino, sorry.
Yeah, he might just be concerned about his curve.
Yeah,
here.
well,
Yeah, that's not getting any better. He's pulled a Chorus of Might to the front.
which is a card I love.
You know, that's a card that I shied away from early because normally I wouldn't want to play. But
Strength
man,
in Numbers
it's
was
just
one
a
of my
win con.
Strength in Numbers was one of my favorite cards in Time Spiral Block, and you know that ability to sort of, you know, leverage the number of creatures
Yeah.
you have and get trample.
It rewards you for
Yeah.
for committing to the board. All right, he pulls.
Another Rakdos Charm.
Yeah, Rakdos Charm and Electrickery. There's also a Skull Rend. He's just going to take the Electrickery here. He might have a red splash here. He also, you know, he could just be in Rakdos still.
Right.
He's got a Karazda Monitor, but he doesn't have like a whole lot pushing him over. Just going to take a second Electrickery. All right, so Conley's deck is just okay at this point. Like he doesn't have like a really strong direction about what he's trying to do yet. He's opened a bomb. He's got a little removal. He's going to just take the Celestial Sentry because it's just the best card in the pack.
Yeah.
There's a Rakdos Charm. And he takes it. Not a great,
Not
a great
one of the
card.
most exciting charms.
No. Catacomb Slug.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get some toughness in there.
Slug it up.
And an Urban Burgeoning is going to wrap up pack 1 for Conley here. So he's going to take a quick look at his pile. When you play at a high-level event with a call draft like this, you don't get to look at your pack in between, and you do have a small bit of time between packs, though, to kind of arrange your cards and see what you're looking at. He's looking Rakdos, right? I mean,
He really is, but he's not going to. He has to know he's.
this pack is going to be just miserable for him on
you know,
Rakdos.
you can't expect to see an Augur Spree, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can just get a
like
Dread-
second
you,
pick,
You
yeah.
might get Dread Revelers or, you know, Splatter Thugs or you know, if someone's taking removal over them.
Sure.
But
Which would be fine.
right. But he doesn't. But he doesn't really have the premium removal for
No.
the archetype.
He doesn't have premium anything for the archetype yet.
Well, he does have Necropolis Region,
That's
which is
true.
just a backbreaking card.
Oh, that card is insane. All right, so he's thumbing through pack 2, pick 1 here. I did see a Dead Reveler.
I saw Dread Revelers. I saw Traitor's Instinct, which is
You know, does
been a-
his deck want that? Like, he's so not attacking yet.
yeah.
I think he's
mean,
going to take Dead Reveler.
He's obviously going to take the Revelers. Yeah.
All right, he does take the Dead Revelers. And he thumbs through the pack. You know, overall, kind of a weak back. Like, that one wasn't particularly strong. There wasn't anything great for Conley's deck, and there's nothing really just amazing in the deck at all.
The Revelers is just clearly head and shoulders above everything else. And
Yeah.
I think the next best card might have been the Instinct, and as you said, not great for him.
All right, so there's a Tavern Swindler, which he pulls to the front, and just nothing else for him, it looks like. A lot of Selesnya cards in this pack, and this is,
But
it's a little early, but
he needs 2 drops
he does.
in whichever archetype he goes into.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I don't,
needs to lower his
Tavern
curve.
Swindler is playable, and you're going to put it in your deck, but it's not exciting. It's certainly not a card you're excited to have pack 2 pick 2 here. So Conley, if I'm in Conley's seat, I'm starting to get a little concerned that, there's not going to be a whole lot coming from left. Now, this shouldn't be a surprise to him, but at the same time, where do you go? I mean, you can only, let's see if he picks up something sweet here. No, there's an explosive impact.
More 6s.
And a couple of green cards. So I think Conley is considering being in Golgari instead, but he's just going to take a red card here, and pretty sure it's just going to be impact. It's a reasonable pickup here.
Sure.
I think your comment there is pertinent here, though. More 6s?
It's his third 6.
Yep.
But he knows that Viashino is probably going to come back around.
Yep. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a great pick for him.
Although it's got to go through the gauntlet of potential Rakdos players sitting around. All right, there's a Grim Roustabout. That's a
Launch
reasonable
Party,
pickup
Rakdos
here.
Cackler.
Uh-huh.
Well,
I mean, those are a couple of very solid cards for this deck, so maybe it's more open than we think. All right, so it looks like he's deciding between Grim Roustabout and Rakdos Cackler. Which one do you like?
I don't think we have a Cackler deck at this point.
I think he wants it to be that. And he's going to take the Roustabout.
Yeah.
It's more flexible.
Yeah, I mean, you can leash the Roustabout and just hold the game back until you get your, Regent online or your 6-mana removal spells.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that pick a lot. That's a lot better than Cackler. All right, there's one Racketeer. Oh, man.
That is a late Voidstalker.
Wow. Are you seeing the cards that are in this pack? Teleportal, sweet. It's pretty good in that type of deck as well. And the Voidstalker, one of my favorite cards in this
Wow,
set.
was he just supposed to have been? Is it?
Could be. Void Wielder, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I also like Voidstalker. But
Yeah. Yeah.
not as relevant to this particular draft. But yeah, Void Wielder is one of my favorite cards in this set.
Yeah. Shocking.
Yeah. Pack 1 picked one that thing last night, in fact. All right, so I see a Pursuit of Flight, which I'm assuming is what he's going to go for.
He's
but
going to take the Revenant, right?
is
Or
he,
is it
I don't know.
Golgari?
Dark Revenant is one of those iffy cards that sometimes is really good and other times is really bad. There's also Golgari Longlegs if he just feels like he needs some beef. Yeah, he just went for the, I don't know if safe pick's the right word, but just sort of the,
Sure.
this guy does stuff, we'll take him. I think I like the Pursuit of Flight, but all right, there's a Cobble Brute card I like quite a bit. There's also a Viashino Racketeer. It doesn't look like Conley's interested in Cobble Brooding here, though.
Well, really, I mean, it looks like he's just going to want to either get to his 6. He wants to just be able to dig through his 6s or filter past his kind of less powerful cards.
Yeah. He's in an interesting spot with that Regent because it definitely rewards you for having just more creatures on board. All right, it looks like he's going to just take a Mind Rot here. He's already got 2 Electricity. I don't think he wants a 3rd.
Are you sure?
Okay, I guess he wants the 3rd. I mean, I can't imagine a scenario where you'd bring 3 in. But
I haven't found Mind Rot to be.
Nah, it's pretty mediocre.
It's never great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, neither of those cards were likely to make his main deck. I think that Mind Rot's probably more likely, but he disagreed.
Thinking about just like eating a Hussar Patrol
Yeah.
rather than
a Cobble Brute. I like him.
I don't know if he's got enough guys to be like just tossing away Cobble Brutes.
Conley clearly doesn't. He didn't even pull Cobble Brutes to the front at
No,
any point.
no,
He's not
it's
interested in
it's
Brute.
blank to him.
Yeah. All right, so we're entering the last stage of this pack, and Conley's probably not going to pick up anything that's going to actually go in his deck, but maybe. survey the wreckage.
I'd indeed up that Axebane stag.
Yeah. All right, take a paralyzing grasp and
Just ignore the catacomb slug.
yeah. I think Conley feels like he's going to be okay. We're going to get a chance to take
I mean,
a look.
but that to me says that he feels like he has enough playable.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
he's not taking the marginal cards that might or
Right.
might not make the deck.
Like when you're not taking Cobble Brute and Catacomb Slug,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I mean, I felt like he was maybe a little light on cards going to Pack 3, but maybe he feels like Pack 3 is going to be much more Rakdos dense. I don't know.
I would assume so.
But I don't know that I would just not, I don't know that I would take a
Table here, guys.
chance on cards that could go in my deck.
Okay.
You know, I'd be adverse to passing those.
We get a look at some of the other players at the table. We see Ivan Flock on the left there. We saw him on a feature match yesterday, along with, is it Alex Majlaton?
Magilton, yeah.
Yep. And then we see Josh Layton up as well. Looking stoic.
Yeah, Stanislav Sipka. The only 8-0 in the tournament.
He's 8-0, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rich had a chance to talk to him yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Must be nice to be 8-0 after day one.
Yeah.
Sleep pretty good with that
He seemed pretty happy.
All right, pack 3. Not pack 3. This is just reviewing their picks. So they were just waiting for the rest of the draft because
Yeah.
they do a time draft, and they're going to let everybody get synced up here. So we're going to get a look at what
couple
Conley
of
does
Dread
have here.
Revelers.
I mean, he's got something that looks like a deck. It's not particularly impressive at this point, but you know, he has creatures and a little bit of removal. There's a bomb in there.
Right. You'd like a splatter punk. A splatter thug.
A splatter thug,
You
yeah.
wanted to call them splatter punks.
I like that name actually. That's kind of a cool name.
There's a genre of horror fiction in the,
Ah,
I guess, 90s.
looks like Conley is arranging them in reverse order.
Like
You want me to turn them down, please?
13 cards. That he,
Playables?
I mean, or cards that he'd sort of considered playable. It looked like about 13.
Okay. I can't count that fast. All right. This is pack 3, and he has a Dreadbore, which he pulls right to the front. There's also a Street Spasm, and it looks like those are the two choices here. It's an interesting one, actually.
Wow,
Normally
there's
you
a
just
Voodoo
take
Gazi
Dreadbore,
Guild
right?
Mage. Yeah, I think, I mean,
But Street Spasm has that high upside of being able, like, if you can get to 6 mana, you can
sure.
Pyroclasm your opponent, or at least his ground creatures. I think you just take the Dreadbore here myself.
It also looks like one of the red-black, one of the Rakdos Unleash guys is back there.
I didn't see one.
Yeah, it definitely is. He didn't even sort it towards the front. It's
I see a Sewer Shambler and I think a Lobber Crew back there. We'll see. Maybe he'll get something back out of that pack. There's definitely a chance. But he did take the Dreadbore, I believe.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's
a
gonna-
solid choice. I mean, I think it's worth considering, but Dreadbore being 2 mana and just destroy any creature is unheard of in this format. And
Tenement
he gets
Crasher.
just nothing. Yep, there's a Tenement Crasher and a Perilous Shadow. I didn't see anything else that looked great. There's a Gerard, but I don't think that we can go quite that deep here.
oh wait,
He does have it pulled to the front. You know, this isn't the kind of thing that I think you could really consider a signal in the sense that it's only the second pick out of this pack, and so somebody could have just taken something for their deck.
not if right. I mean, but they're not Golgari is pretty clear.
That is true. Yeah, he's going to just take the Tenement Crasher here.
Guy I've been really pleased with.
Yeah, I've been, cobble brooding and Tenement Crashing my way to some
Yeah.
victories myself. All right. There is a Dead Reveler and
Augur
an
Spree.
Augur Spree. All right, now he is starting to get a few more cards for his deck coming from the right-hand side.
And who is that at the back there?
Rick's Mahdi, Spawn of Rick's Mahdi.
Well, yeah, and I think there's another Spawn of Rick's Mahdi that might just.
All right. So he did take the Augur Spree. You got to do it.
Yeah.
So now his deck's starting to take form here. He's got a pretty reasonable curve going now. If you
got
can pick
3
up a few
removal
more,
spells.
Yeah, if you can pick up a few more, sort of middle guys
Some
with
Cobble
Unleash.
Brutes?
I love Cobble Brute. All right. It looks like there's not much here. There's a Grave Betrayal.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to go with the Grave Betrayal.
Yeah, it's just that thing costs 7. I mean, I've lost to the card, so it's definitely sweet. There's a Thought Flare. He's pulled that to the front. That's certainly a tempting card, although I don't know that he's got the blue splash.
It's a fine splash.
No, it's a fine splash. I'm just saying I don't know that he's got the ability yet. You know, you'd much rather have Teleportal.
He just might run 2 islands.
Yeah, he could. Discard the other island. All right, Rakdos, Ragemont immediately pulled to the front, and there's also a Grim Roustabout. So this is going to be...
And a Tavern Swindler.
Yeah.
So something might come back here.
Yeah. So this is a question. This is a question that Conley has to ask himself about where he feels his curve is. There's also a Rakdos Key Rune, which he could use to help power out those 6-drops.
I like the Key Rune too.
He's just going to take the Roustabout. So, you know, the Rakdos Ragemont is more powerful in the sense that, you know, 3/3 lifelink haste is sweet, but but the Roustabout puts a big amount of pressure on your opponent, and it's also only costs 2 mana. All right, there's a Zanikev Locust, which gets pulled to the front pretty quickly, and a Gutter Snipe. Although I don't think we have a Gutter Snipe.
We don't have enough instants or sorceries.
Yeah, we've got like 3.
Yeah,
maybe.
Takes the Locust.
Yeah, that guy's pretty sweet if you can discard him.
Yeah.
He's only cost 2 black to scavenge, and he's a 3/3, so getting him in your graveyard is pretty nice.
There's a Traitorous Instinct. There's a Skull Rend. There's a Key Rune.
Yeah, Golgari Key Rune isn't really going to do much for him here.
He would love an Izzet Key Rune.
Yeah, that would be more like it. A Civic Saber is a choice, but he's just going to take the Key Rune here. I mean, do you just run it for the ramp? I don't. Like, if it was just 3 tap to add.
He's got 5 6-drops. At least 4 6-drops.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I do then. All right, what do we have here? There's a Cobbled Brute, an Explosive Impact, which he's just going to take. That's a pretty easy choice here. It's another 6-drop.
Charge
though.
on the end.
Did not see it. Maybe an Electrickery. But yeah, so that's another Explosive Impact, and I think 2 is right where you want to be. There's a Lobber Crew. I'm sure he's going to take that. All right, so Conley managed to make a deck out of this thing. I felt like partway through Pack 1 it was a little shaky as far as what direction he was going, and we weren't planning on getting a whole lot of amazing things, and he didn't, but he's made a deck out of it.
Sure. Do you feel like this is a 3-0 deck?
No.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I don't know necessarily what he could have done very differently.
No,
I mean, I think in hindsight, Golgari would have been. I mean, he would have had a Jurat.
Yeah.
But you can't say that.
Yeah, you can't say that. And I think if I'm in his seat, I think I would have probably ended up with a similar deck, maybe a little different. I probably would have gone Golgari, but I think the deck might have been worse had I gone Golgari. Although again, not super relevant. I think this is
I think
like
there might
probably
have been
a 2-1 deck, especially in the capable hands of a Conley Woods. There's a Dynacharge that he just doesn't even take.
An Electrickery
His
last
fourth Electrickery. All right, so there's a draft for Conley, and it looks like he's got kind of an interesting Rakdos deck. This is not the standard one that you see where it's just like unleash, 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 kill you. It's going to have a little bit more of a top end with the double explosive impact and Acropolis region.
This could be like leash, leash, leash.
Yeah. Which
you
is
could be
it kind of goes to what you were saying about Golgari, right? Like those guys block well.
Right.
They will hold the ground well.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see him. I could definitely see him leashing his Dread Revelers to block something.
Yeah.
Someone's got a great Golgari deck.
You know, it's interesting because I think what Conley can do here is, if he has Necropolis Region in his opener, he can try to craft a board state that is going to be to get him to that point where he can attack safely with it, because it ends the game very quickly.
Right.
If he doesn't, you know, he can just do the normal unleash Rakdos plan.
Right.
So you just keep hitting.
But he doesn't. He doesn't have that critical. Like to me, when you have that unleash draw, I mean, you really want a 2-drop unleash, a 3-drop unleash, another 3-drop unleash on turn 4.
Yeah.
Like, you want,
and then the Traitorous Instinct.
You want
to just
3 power,
stamp
3
it.
power, 3 power. You know, maybe one of the 6 powers or one of the 5 powers.
Yeah.
And his deck's not quite there. His deck is Stay Alive.
Yep.
kill things with explosive